company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, post-mortem examination confirms the 4-year-old baby Ayana Bennett was beaten to death. Her foster parents remain in police custody. Leader of the opposition, Shine Barrow, must resign from House if convicted of electoral offense. National health insurance in full swing here in the north. Over 20,000 persons registered so far. And we bring you the highlights of the Euromay here in Orange Walk. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, November 21st, 2023.
Movies are dreams. That you never forget.
The lights change how everything looks. It's hard to find our house.
Ours is the dark house with no lights.
In this family, it's the scientists versus the artists.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
You stop making movies, it'll break your mother's heart.
I don't know what to do anymore.
You do what your heart says you have to. What was your favorite part?
Centaur, your kind of company.
With Express Plus, you can stream on the go or stream at home. Stream the latest movies, telenovelas, series, anime, or music videos from your favorite local artists. Sign up now with Centaur's Express Plus.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Face FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A Mennonite couple tonight remain in custody of San Ignacio police after the death of a 4-year-old child who was under their care. 4-year-old Belize City resident Ayana Bennett was found dead on Friday morning at around 3:30 in the home of the foster parents in Spanish Lookout. After a post-mortem examination was conducted on the child, today the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, confirmed that baby Ayana was beaten to death. The results of the post-mortem examination revealed that the toddler had multiple traumas. Over the weekend, the foster parents were charged with aggravated assault. However, after they confirmed to police that Ayana was beaten with a belt prior to her death, the case is being reviewed to indicate further charges.
As it relates to that issue, the pathologist today conducted a post-mortem examination on the body of the child and certified that she died from multiple trauma, which would indicate that she was beaten severely, and that beating was what actually caused her death. Police have also detained both foster parents. They are still in police custody. They were charged based on the advice of the DPP over the weekend for aggravated assault. And Now that the post-mortem examination has been concluded, the result of that has been forwarded to the DPP, and we will now await further instructions from her as it relates to any possible further charges. I can say that both foster parents have also admitted to having lashed the child with a belt, according to them, but I don't know if a belt would cause that amount of force as the doctor had prescribed following the post-mortem examination. So, like I said before, we're waiting now for the DPP for the instruction in terms of additional charges that may follow on the foster parents.
At this time, police are yet to determine if the toddler had been abused over a period of time. However, Campo Williams says the foster parents have confirmed that the baby was beaten at least 24 hours before her death.
The law under justifiable use of force and harm, I believe, Section 38 of the Criminal Code, do speak to the fact that parents can chastise a child. But it also goes on to say that the chastisement of the child must not be too excessive. And in this case, where that so-called chastising is so severe that it caused the death of the child, then certainly the parents can be held to account. It might not be a charge of murder, but at the very least manslaughter. If in fact the injuries appeared to be over a period of time or just moments before the death, I am not sure if the doctor had given an answer to that question, but the parents or the foster parents admitted to having lashed her over a 24 hours period per se, due to the fact that they might have been teaching her some colors issue and the child refused to call out the colors as was being shown to her by the foster parent.
At this time, police are yet to determine if the toddler had been abused over a... Now, while the baby's biological family is asking for a murder charge to be levied, Campo Williams says the evidence will tell it all.
The DPP, I must say, is a person of good temperament and good judgment. Whatever charges she decides on, we are going to proceed. I can tell you, though, she's not the type who is going to act on public pressure. She's going to act based on the evidence that is before her. So whenever she gets all the evidence, then she decides and we go from there.
Over the weekend, the chairman of the Spanish Lookout community has expressed condolences to the family of deceased child Ayana Moody. The statement says, "We express as a community our sincerest condolences at the sudden yet unexplained death of 4-year-old Ayana Bennett Moody. Our hearts are collectively broken and we express our sadness at her passing and share in the grief of her biological parents and family." On September 7, 2023, our community members opened their home to Ayana as their foster child. Opening their home also signaled the welcoming of our entire community of the young child. Our Spanish Lookout community is no stranger to fostering children, as many of our families have been loving foster parents and the families for many children over the past years. As a community, we look to the authorities to continue its investigation and establish the cause of Ayana's sudden death. We pledge our full support to the investigation process, end quote. A few weeks ago, the leader of the opposition, Shine Barrow, faced an intent in court to have him removed from the list of voters in the Mesopotamia electoral division. That case failed and Barrow had some celebration about it, saying the address in question is his residence, so that was a done deal. But tonight, Shine Barrow is facing a new challenge in the lower court. It seems like a repeat of the same challenge he had prior. The People's United Party in this time around trying to strike out Shine Barrow's name from the 2023 list of voters in the Mess-Up division. Shine has retained the services of Richard Dickey Bradley, while the PUP is being represented by attorney Leroy Banner. The case has begun its course with a number of witnesses taking the stand to testify on behalf of the claimant and defendant. Attorney for the leader of the opposition spoke about the matter to reporters, saying the case is a waste of the court's time.
The courts of the country are only involved because the magistrates in every judicial district, they are the revising officer of the voters list. The voters list, as you know, is almost the heart of our limited democracy, in that we want to make sure persons are qualified to vote, who wish to vote, and persons are qualified to be elected as area representatives, that they are qualified. There's no question that the Honorable Moses Shine Barrow is qualified and is a member of the National Assembly. He is also the leader of the opposition. Mr. Alan Kelly, who came as a witness to assist the court as to whether or not the Honorable Barrow resided at that address, made a very important response to the questions from my good friend Leroy Banner, who represents the objectors. Listen, this is a PUP and UDP thing, you know. If an ex-Hyde was around the vicinity, he would probably do Let's Play Mama and Papa Part 2, because we are wasting the court's time. The law of the land is written in Section 5 of the Representation of the People's Act, which requires certain legal matters, and the election officials shall enter their name as an elector in the division. The area of contention, which is minimal in terms of what was brought to the court in our respectful view, is the one that says the person must reside in the division for not less than 2 months for that person to be eligible to be added as a person in the division who can vote. And you don't have to live in a division to represent the division. But when goaded in the witness stand, Alan Kelly said to the court, what Honorable Shine is doing has been done before. That none other than George Price went and registered and lived in his constituency. Mr. Price lived at Pickstock until his dying day. What Shine is doing is sending a message: I am not those highty-tighty, don't want to be around the people. He went and registered in King Street in the Mesopotamia area. And one of the objectors, and we won't call any names because it's not something favorable, but one of the objectors was saying he was taken aback when he learned that Shine, a man who is used to luxury and who has a certain levels, would go and register on King Street. He was taken aback. That can't be. This is a bungalow house. This is a little tiny house. How can... That is what goaded him into go and put his name down as objecting to the person.
As we told you, a number of witnesses took the stand. One spoke about the evidence collected in the form of photographs about a Land Rover driven by the leader of the opposition stationed at another residence on various dates. Here is what Bradley said about that.
That the issue is, but that Range Rover was parked somewhere else. They can't say, guess what, can I tell you something? The pictures were taken on the 15th and 16th day of November 2023 in the year of our Lord. Not in May and June and July. In any event, one of the persons who drive the Honorable Shine here and there said that when he has to go district, when he leaves the country and at other times, he would take the vehicle home and then he calls and he can come and pick him up. And so that is proof of nothing. You know what that is a proof of? That a Range Rover is in somebody's yard. That is the proof.
And as part of the case, the sitting Chief Magistrate Jayani Wagadapolo decided to visit the residence in question in person. Attorney for Shine Barrow explained one of the witnesses alluded to the defendant having knowledge that the Chief Magistrate was coming.
No, he explained himself that the toilet was giving trouble and their plumber had been there. That explained why there was some water. When he said prepare, they wanted the place to look proper for the chief magistrate to come. As I pointed out in the submission, no mattress no have to be there, you know. That is not the law. The law is not that the bed where you sleep on must stay in the place forever and ever. That is not the law. The law is, did you reside there 2 months prior to the election officials?
So are you saying that he would have fulfilled the requirements prior but not after? Like, okay, so I just want...
Yeah, no, well, if he still wants to throw his head there at any time, he still can. I even pointed out to the chief magistrate that we could sling up a hammock. Did I not say that? That you could even sling up a hammock. There's no law that say your same bed have to be there, the bedposts have to look the same or anything. That is neither here nor there. Now, if they had gone and found a place where only computers and office and no space for a bed, the chief magistrate would have had a lot more questions for the elections officials. If they had gone there and not found that there is a bathroom separate from a bedroom, that would have been a different matter.
But at address number 80 King Street in Belize City, there are a dozen persons that are registered using the same address, presumably residing at the same small bungalow structure.
12. The point was, this can't be a residence because how can 12 people live there? But I had said already in the court, that's why Chief Magistrate was asking my colleague on the other side that an explanation had been offered. People register, remember this building did a long time. If 12 people are on the register of voters, which they are, how is it you're only objecting to one? Well, you don't object to all of them, like 12 and he can't live there. You see, he brings that up at the end to say 12 people are registered there. Yes, but that is one of the faults in the system. But that is not what this case is about. Mr. Shine is not concerned that 10 years ago somebody registered there and was accepted. 15 years ago, it begs the question, why are you only objecting to one? Remember, he's a good friend of P. Diddy and Fat Joe and Beyonce and her husband. This is a big man we're talking about who is internationally acclaimed. He has come home and got married in the party politics of the country. The Constitution of Belize and the democracy that we are trying to practice requires that there be a leader of the opposition and that there be an effective opposition. Our system is like a plane, it's like a bird. It must have its 2 wings in order to function.
Of note is that should Barrow lose his case, as per the law, specifically Section 58(1)(f) of the Constitution, it writes that someone is disqualified for membership in the House of Representatives, quote, by virtue of any law by reason of his having been convicted of any offense relating to elections, unquote. The Chief Magistrate will hand down a verdict on November 24th, 2023. Since the start of November, services under the National Health Insurance were rolled out across the Orange Walk district. NHI services are being provided in 3 main facilities, including Northern Medical Specialty Plaza, La Asunción, and Clínica Nueva Esperanza, along with 3 local pharmacies, 2 imaging centers, and 6 laboratories that will also offer services to NHI members in Orange Walk. Since the start of the registration period earlier this year, over 23,000 persons have already registered for NHI in Orange Walk. However, there is still space and time for more Orange Walkenians to access the benefits of NHI, which seeks to offer affordable health services for all Orange Walkenians.
When we started in July, that we came mid-year to do the contract signing in July, it was basically to just give that startup of membership to the clinics. So basically, the registration doesn't stop or it has no expiration date until the clinic meets its 12,000 registered members. So every clinic is open to or allowed to register 12,000 persons. So until that cap is fit, then you can say, okay, I can no longer register at this clinic, so I have to choose between the other two clinics. And basically all the clinics still have space availability to register. Presently, we have a little over 20,000 persons registered, distributed among the 3 clinics. And so I'd like to encourage people, if you have not registered or, to do so now, you have the time to do it this week. Do it, register your entire family. As the clinics have mentioned before, all you need is a social security card.
With a large percentage of the cost for medical services offered by chosen providers covered by the government of Belize, technical advisor for NHI, Dr. Daisy Mendez, says a large component of the program consists of monitoring to ensure Belizeans are getting value of service.
What we've learned is that they have expressed high standards of satisfaction. Of course, there are little areas where still need work, and that's what we do ongoing, working with the clinics to making sure that we're able to meet what are the expectations of the clients. We haven't done that yet since we basically just started services in Orange Walk. It will be done. It is an annual activity that we do. And so, but basically just by doing a walkthrough, which we did in October, to see how prepared they were to start providing services in November, we were able to see a complete transformation of where they were when they had first applied to be a primary care provider. And on that visit, we were able to see the enthusiasm of the staff getting ready and working as a team into being prepared to provide services. Right. So we've been able to follow up with them after the 1st of November, to follow up with them to see, okay, and you can see patients waiting outside and just, having a little conversation with them, that they're so happy and one access, that they can actually have something close to home, get the attention that they're looking for, the services that they're looking for, and how affordable the services are. And so far, they've expressed their satisfaction with what they've been receiving so far, especially when it comes to the prices.
The NHI program is now available in Southside Belize City, Corozal, a portion of the Stand Creek District, and most recently Orange Walk. Thus far, Dr. Mendez says that while there have been challenges, the program is fulfilling its purpose, which is to bridge the divide within the health sector for all Belizeans.
We have been in the South Side with active contracts in the South Side since the early 2000s, and there's still challenges that we're facing, and we go working along as a team. That's what quality assurance is all about, the monitoring of the services that are being contracted. So yes, we've had challenges. For example, we wish we would just have that overnight infrastructure available. It's a process. It takes time, so there are a lot of adaptation and a lot of moving around to do so that the patient actually they're walking into a safe environment, because construction is ongoing in most of the in the 3 clinics. So I think that has been mostly the challenge, and to really have people understand that this is their right, health is their right, so that this is being done for them, and how important it is for us to know from their point of view, what else is it that you'd like to see? Exactly. What is it that makes you happy and comfortable into coming to a clinic and getting the services that you need? Exactly. So yes, the challenges have allowed us to do a lot of tweaking and improvement in the services. So, but nothing that I can say we couldn't handle or it's impossible to deal with. We're getting there. And really, they just started the November 1st. So I think we'll be able to measure a little bit of the impact in a few months. One of our areas of strength has been the ongoing monitoring. It's not something that we start at the beginning of the year and we end off at the end of the year. It's throughout the entire year while that contract is active. Because basically that is what will tell us, okay, we're going to renew contract with your company again. And that's at all levels. That's not only with the clinics, but it's also with the pharmacies, the laboratories. Because I must say that in Orange Walk, there's also the inclusion of ophthalmology services and the imaging services. So we are accountable for the funds we get, and we need to account to that for the people, because our budget to actually being able to roll out NHI and to further roll out NHI countrywide is basically from general revenues. So we submit an annual budget, we present that to the Ministry of Finance, who is basically our ministry, the the prime minister is our minister. So we have to be able to account for every dollar spent. So that's where the monitoring is key. So yes, it is fully funded by the government of Belize.
In Orange Walk, residents are reminded that they can register with any of the 3 service providers to become a member of the NHI program and benefit from premium health services. Coming up next, we take you to the edge of the New River for the traditional Urumei. Stay tuned.
Singing around the world, dancing with every song, and experienced in one place only. The Latin Grand.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Diabetes can be described as a metabolic disease where a person has high blood sugar. While it can be caused by the insufficient production of insulin in the body, another effect is that the body's cells that don't correctly respond to the secretion of insulin, or it can be both. Internationally, November 14 is recognized as World Diabetes Day. This year, it was celebrated under the theme Access to Diabetes Care. Organizations around the country, among other stakeholders, take on the task of informing, educating, and offering assistance to patients who are either suffering or can become prone to the disease in hopes of reducing the numbers of diabetic deaths, the 4th leading cause of death in Belize. As the month neared its end, we choose to speak about the disease with Dr. German Alamia, an internist and diabetologist.
The body loses the capacity to regulate the sugar in the bloodstream. Okay, the pancreas in the body is the organ that is the one in charge. If your sugar goes low, it brings it up. If it goes too high, secretes insulin and it brings it down. So when you get diabetes, it's because this organ, the pancreas, is misfunctioning, right? Now, type 1 and type 2 diabetes are 2 types of diabetes, basically. Type 1 is when you get it, an autoimmune disease that destroys the cells that produce the insulin in the pancreas, okay, the beta cells. And once this is destroyed, then the pancreas is in no capacity to produce insulin. So these diabetic patients, type 1, need to be supplied with insulin. They have to inject insulin because they are not producing. Type 2 is in a person that is in a older age range, from above 30, 40, 50, even 60. It's more like it's called resistance to insulin. You produce insulin, but the tissues are resistant to the insulin. So even though you have insulin production, it's not bringing down the sugar, okay? and this is usually called insulin resistance. You need more insulin to stimulate the cells to put in the sugar into the cells. Okay, that's basically the two types. Then you have one induced by pregnancy because of hormones that are produced during pregnancy.
Data provided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness shows that 877 new diabetes diagnoses were registered in Belize for last year. We asked Dr. Alamia whether or not someone diagnosed with the illness can live a normal life.
Of course, you can live a normal life. I myself am diabetic for 20 years now, and my wife is diabetic for 25 years. The basic thing you have to do is to control what you eat. Belize cuisine is not diabetic friendly because all those excess flour and sugars we eat are detrimental, keeps the sugar high. But if you do diet and exercise and take your medication, you can live practically a normal life. The symptoms and the medication. The symptoms is basically once the sugar is too high in the blood, above 150, the first thing that happens is the kidney goes into try to bring the sugar down. So it starts peeing out the sugar. So the first symptom you get is a lot of urination, peeing a lot. Okay. The second one, the sugar has to be diluted with water. So the kidney pulls the water from the body. So the body becomes this dehydrated, and then it gives a lot of thirst. Your tongue gets dry and you feel thirsty because you're dehydrating, because it's the water is going to the urine or urine out the sugar. The next one is a lot of hunger. Why? Because the sugar is a necessity for intracellularly for it to burn. The body uses it to burn to get energy. But if it's not going into the cell, then the cell is needing energy. So it's signaling to the brain that it needs to eat. So the person gets hungry and wants to eat. And the thing is, he eats, and all the sugar that is supposed to go into the cell stays outside because it cannot go into the cell. It stays in the bloodstream.
While diabetes has no cure, the topic for internist and diabetologist Dr. German Alamia is dear to his heart because he too lives with the illness. He told us about his experience.
I am diabetic. I became a diabetologist because being an internist, I became diabetic. And I needed to know more about myself and how to control myself. I retired early because I even had a heart attack. Okay, so this is a serious thing. I have had neuropathy. Most of what the people are going through, I can relate to it. I have lived it, and so has my wife. So that's why we live together and we have to cook. You know, we do different things. Like for instance, we make a burger. We take the shiitake fungus, and we broil it with a little bit of olive oil and salt, and put the meat in between that, and put the tomato and lettuce, and we make a burger that doesn't have a bun. We can do pizza out of cabbage. We take the cabbage, we slice it thin. We put a little bit of salt, black pepper, and olive oil on it, and we broil it till it's crispy. And then you put your sauce on that and your cheese, and you have a decently low-calorie pizza. Okay. What else do? We take the zucchini. It's the zucchini, and we slice it very thin, and we wrap it with veg, and that makes like a sushi, a vegetarian sushi. Okay, I'm glad to share with the Belizeans. I'm here because I wanted to come back and educate as much Belizeans about diabetes as possible. Tell them that they don't have to fear because it's not a death sentence. Once you learn about it enough to control yourself and to control your diet and do your exercise, you'll be fine.
As you would know, we are now nearing the end of year's celebrations. In a few days, many will celebrate Thanksgiving, followed by Christmas and leading into the New Year's cheering. Dr. Alamia says everyone must be watchful about what they consume because there are actual options to substitute the harmful products during these times.
What these people have to do, they have to learn to change. Like, for instance, For this December, we're going to do potato salad. We're not going to use potato. We're just going to use cauliflower as the base, or a little pumpkin. You boil it the same. You mix it with your peas and your carrots and your green peas and corn, and then you mix it up, and it's a more decent, not high calorie potato salad. For the rice and beans, we take out the rice and we use quinoa. We cook the quinoa with the beans, and it comes out almost like rice and beans. Okay, and then you put your salad, your this, and your turkey and your palm little pieces. The protein content is just the amount you have to eat, small amounts, so that the sugar doesn't go up. Now about the drinks. The drinks is what takes it up, because we drink a lot of um, drinks with a lot of sugar in it, especially like the rum popo and all these things that have sugar. The soft drinks, these we can't have. You know, the liquor will take it up too. I hear there is some kind of in Chedamola diabetic, a beer for diabetics that has very low calories. I haven't seen it, I haven't examined it, but I hear they have it. That can be an option. And the thing is, you have to eat, but you have to eat small amounts. We can't go about eating the big amounts for Christmas if you're diabetic, especially if you're on pills, because the pills are made for a certain amount of sugar. And once you pass that amount of sugar, it won't be working in your system if you're eating more calories than you should.
In Belize, 157 persons died from diabetes in 2022, of which 61% were females. While the fight continues to reduce the numbers, it can only be made a reality when the effort is collective. Earlier this month, the government of Belize wrote a letter to the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, requesting the Republic of China Taiwan's attendance as an observer at the 89th Interpol Grand Assembly in Turkey next week. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams will be attending the upcoming Centennial General Assembly of Interpol in Vienna, Austria from November 28 to December 1st, and today reiterated GOB's position calling for Taiwan's involvement in the forum, which should focus on crime fighting across the world.
We have always been an advocate of that. This year, I will be attending the centennial of the Interpol in Vienna, Austria. And as we have always did, we are going to throw our support behind Taiwan to become an observer at Interpol. We do know that there is a political issue as it relates to Taiwan and China, but I have said to the Interpol General Assembly before that the functions of Interpol should not be impeded by politics. And the issue involving China-Taiwan is a political issue. The police officers in Taiwan are different from the police officers in China. There are two separate police departments, and they serve two separate countries, if you may want to say it that way. And we believe that when you have one country like Taiwan that could be so significant to Interpol being excluded, then you're creating a gap in the global policing, and that should not be. Interpol motto is to serve the entire world, and we should not exclude no police organization. So, again, we'll be throwing our support behind Taiwan becoming a member or even an observer at Interpol.
Today, the Ministry of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor, and Local Government signed an official groundbreaking agreement with UNICEF securing a fund of $220,000. The ministry says the agreement was signed in a significant stride towards achieving Sustainable Development Goal 6, provide clean and safe water for all. The partnership is a crucial component of the national framework dedicated to interventions in the WASH program, water, sanitation, and hygiene. The initiative aims to fortify health facilities and empower communities in dire need of water resources. Another primary focus of this collaboration is the construction and/or renovation and repair of mechanized water supply systems in rural communities. The ministry noted that these systems play a pivotal role in providing sustainable access to clean and safe water, a fundamental right for every individual. It also encompasses support for water quality testing and treatment, targeting both public water sources and households. By addressing water quality concerns, the project aims to enhance the overall health and well-being of communities. The Ministry of Rural Transformation extended gratitude to UNICEF for the remarkable funding and collaborative efforts dedicated to ensuring safe and healthy water access in the rural communities of Belize. Garifuna Settlement Day festivities were held across the country over the weekend, with the largest celebration taking place in renowned culture capital of Belize, Dangriga. Here in Orange Walk, the traditional Garifuna Settlement Day celebration known as Euromay has been getting bigger every year. Since the start of November, the National Garifuna Council of Orange Walk has been hosting a number of events to commemorate the special occasion, which culminated with the reenactment of the arrival of the Garinagu to Belize on November 19th. As history would tell it, today's Garifuna are descendants of the Black Caribs who were unceremoniously deported from St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the British in 1797. The Garifuna then endured 5 years of misery, which led them across the Caribbean Sea to Roatan and the north coast of Honduras before first reaching Belize in 1802. Their arrival to Belize today forms an important part in the history of the Garinagu people in our country and is commemorated annually to highlight the struggle but also the endurance of the Garifuna people as they hope for a new beginning. Since 2017, the celebration has been observed here in Orange Walk, with the main highlight being the Euromay, which was held this year at the foot of the San Esteban Bridge shortly after 7 on Sunday morning. Here are a few of the highlights of this weekend's burst of cultural heritage and celebration. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, November 22nd here on CTV3 and Face FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.